Hi, welcome to this episode. In our previous episode, we designed our content page. That's the page used by the administrator to preview the existing articles and then take some actions on those articles. In this episode, we are going to design the single page. So the single page at the administrator's side. So this page is going to allow the administrator to actually see the details of an article. So when they click on any article's title, they will be redirected to this page, which gives them more details on the article, and they could also take some actions on the article, such as editing or deleting the article. So without wasting much time, let's look at that. So the page is going to be called admin content single. I've already linked it to our page, so when you click on it, it will try to load the admin content single page, which does not exist yet. So I'm going to take the admin dashboard content. So admin, let me close this once. So admin dash content, so we are on the page, and then I will save it as, and then this will allow me to change the name into our new page. So admin content single.php. So by saving now, we have the admin single page created. So we definitely have to change the title and place the article title. So by reloading now, we should have the page. So when we look at the template, we can see that, okay, we just have an image, so the article image. Then at the right side, we have the article's details. So the title, the date, and the author, then an excerpt, the excerpt of the article. Then we have the article's content, and right under that we have the buttons to edit and delete. So to achieve that, so let's get rid of the existing table we had. We'll keep the header, so we'll get rid of this area, so we don't need that. So first of all, we need to align these two. So the first thing I will do here, I will have let's say a div, or let me keep it as a section. So this will have admin content article. So admin content article, and then here I will have a, let me even use the header tag, and this header tag will have two main parts. The first part will have the image, so that's going to be ./images/ so any image we have in our folder, I will find that. So I think we have, let's say, img.img1.jpg, I guess so. So that was in the format. Let me try this. Great, so we have an image like that. So once we have the image, I will now add this area, which has the title and then the rest of the information. So I will put all this together in a div, and then here I will have a heading 2. It doesn't really matter. So we'll have the first article's title. So the article title will be there. Then next to it we'll have let's say a paragraph, and that paragraph will have the author. So let me just copy the content, and then we'll have another paragraph to have the excerpt. So I will also copy some content here, and so once we have that, we can now move on to the next area, which I will also name article. So I will call it article, and then inside the article we just have the content. Simple as that. So we are going to have a paragraph with some dummy text. So I'll make the dummy text twice, so that we have two paragraphs. And I'll reduce this one a little bit, like this, and bring another one. Great. So by previewing, we should have something. So now the work we have to do is to bring in this content at the right side of the picture, and at the bottom here we have the footer, which has the delete and edit buttons. So we'll put them in a list, and then so this will be edit and the other one will be delete. So no icon yet, so we'll keep it like that. Delete. Great. All right, so now we can go ahead and then start styling this work. So in our CSS, we grab this guy, so we go right at the bottom, create a separation, that's admin content single, so we can go ahead and grab this class. So the first thing we want to work on is the image and then the articles preview. So that's the header. So what we'll do is we'll align the header image and then the div flex. So we'll do, so I will go ahead and go header and then do display flex, justify content flex start, so that they all remain at the left side. Align items also flex start, so vertically it will start from the top. Great. So that is set here. So at the right side we consider the text is usually at the right side we consider the text is aligned at the center. So we can fix that. Let's try to target the div that contains all the elements there. So header div, and let's say we say text align center left. Great, so we get something like that. So I would like to add some margin left or padding left to that div. So let's even add it a padding of 1 rem all around. So that will actually make it align itself right in the middle of the image. So in that case, even if the image is small, we'll always have some space on top of the title, and that wouldn't look great. So rather, let's focus on only the left side. That is what is important. Great. So and the text now moves up. At the same time, the heading tool we use there is also having some space, although we can't clear it entirely because of the font style we use. So margin 0, padding 0. So we'll try to clear some space. So that's what I was saying. And let me even inspect it and see if there's any star applied to it, giving it such spaces. So probably a global star. So here we can see. So I say H2. So let me specify it is under the div and see. Okay, did something happen? So when we check the star, we are saying margin. Okay, it's like the value for the margin is not correct. Great. Instead of it should be 0. Great. So we got something here. That's okay. So I definitely have to add the margin bottom so that we shift the author details down. Or no, let me leave that right there. But except that's the second paragraph needs to get some space, and that is a tricky one because we have 2 paragraphs here. So instead of using a paragraph here, let me rather use, let's say, a span, or no, an emphasize em. So let me use em. Then we'll have only 1 paragraph. It will be easy to tackle that paragraph. So if we do then the paragraph P, then we can add some margin top. So margin top, so margin top, what one rem. Great, so this separates it from the top. So also we might need to work on the image, because right now I worked with a small image, so that's why it adapted quickly. So it is important to kind of add some guard and protect the system from breaking by limiting the image size. So we could say the header div, not the div, so because it's directly at the header, under the header. So the header image, the max width should not go beyond 200 pixels. All right, so no matter what, the image should always be around that idea. So let me make 150 and see. Okay, so something like that. So let's look at our prototype. What do we have? So it seems the image was a bit larger there, so let's go ahead and keep it at 200 or 250. Great, so we have something like that. So in case the except gets long, a little bit longer, then it can fill in air. But in normal sense, we should limit the except to the allowed size, allowed length of text in the meta description tag. So that would be great. So now let's go ahead and look at the footer here. So since we are dealing with the footer that is only inside this admin single, so let's capture it well. So we'll add a class to it and say admin single footer, admin single footer. So we go ahead and add some footer here, just like that, and then admin single footer UL, because we use a UL. I'm interested in align them, flex, justify content space between so that they go left and right, align items center, align content to at the center. So if we preview, we should get them aligned like this. So when the icon comes, the icons will occupy that place of the dots. So another thing I notice is the text is a bit bigger on our prototype, so we might want to increase the font size, but that will be done on the A's, not on the UL. So we do this, and then the LIs first, we have to cancel their list style type so that the dot goes. All right, so the dot goes. So when we look at the prototype, I could see here, okay, it's okay. I thought I would shift the delete and then edit a little bit at the middle. I think that's okay for now. Right, so we cleared that. The margin and padding too, we get rid of it. And by the way, you could notice I usually write margin and padding 0. So I think there's one shortcut you could do this. So I think it's all tag and then you do line set. So I think this cancels some kind of formatting around it. So it's cool to use this shortcut, but I prefer this to be specific. Great. All right, so once we have that cleared, we can now focus on the link, the A's. So for the A's, we'll give them some padding, and the display will change into block as well. I like that so that I can be able to consider them as small rectangles, and I can apply so many styles to them. The padding cannot be 0, so we'll make the padding, let's say something 0.5 rem. Great. So also the footer itself. So single footer, admin single footer itself, we'll give it a margin border top, let's say 2 pixels solid, and it seems we use tomato as color. Great. And then we would like to specify some margin top of 2 rem to give it some space after the text of the article. So here too we have a line here which separates the article's header and then its content, and this is because we use the header tag to cover the article's header. This header tag, and that header tag is receiving the star we apply to this main header, which is the main website's header. So we could specifically target it and cancel that, but I feel like it adds up to the design and it's okay, we can keep it that way. So here we are. So let me increase the size of these buttons at the footer. So the font size should be 2. Great. So this shows that we are in a dangerous area, and this is a very important area as well. So that being said, this brings us to the end of this episode on designing our admin single article page. So if you've enjoyed this video or if you've enjoyed this episode, please kindly consider subscribing, liking it, and sharing with your friends. Thank you for watching.